Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fabhia. I'm from class 8. In this video, I want to talk to you about critical reading and writing in the digital age. Okay, before we start, do you know about critical reading or critical writing? Okay, critical reading is an activity that is carried out wisely, deeply, evaluatively, analytically, and trying to understand the implied meaning of a reading that is read. And critical writing is the ability to convey ideas critically through writing. So, what is critical reading and writing? Critical reading and writing are activities where reading is evaluative, analytical, and conveyed with critical ideas through writing. Kinds of critical reading. First is quick read or glance to read topic. Speed reading is a reading technique to get information in a direct way to the problem or fact you are looking for. By speed reading, we will get maximum information in the shortest time with a high level of understanding of the contents of the reading. Sometimes we read not to look for detailed information. We just want to know in general what is discussed in the writings we read. In this case, we need to focus attention on certain parts. We can read the writing quickly or at a glance from beginning to end. From this speed reading activity, we get an idea about the topic of the writing we are reading. Second is speed reading for special information. Speed reading can also be done if we want special information from an article. Our attention is only focused on the parts that we want. The parts that contain information we don't need don't get our attention. Third is read carefully for detailed information. We may also want to get detailed information about something. In this case, reading activities are focused on the part that contains information that we know in detail. Once we get to the part, we read it carefully until we really understand the information we get. Okay, next slide is purpose and benefits of critical reading and writing. The purpose. First is understand the purpose of the author. Second, understand the implied meaning in the text. And the last is giving an assessment of the presentation of the author. And the benefits is being able to remember something as a result of understanding the content of reading and can increase the sharpness of our listening. Okay, critical reading and writing technique. The first is apply the SQTR method. The first is survey. At this stage, it can be done by knowing the reading book, such as title of book, author, publisher, year of publication, book printing, outline of the book's content, or according to our needs or not, and so on. The second stage is question. In this stage, which means a question in the heart. Question you need, such as understanding of articles, writing good and correct articles, example of writing good and correct article, and so on, like that. And the third is read, which means reading. At this stage, we read carefully a passage. At this stage, you can also note things that you think are important from the content of the reading. The fourth is recite or recall. At this stage, you are required to recall what you read earlier and what you think is important. It is also at this age whether the question that you compiled in the second set are answered. The last is review, which means reviewing, such as there a away part that is not recorded in my memory, or have all important ideas been covered, and then you can try to write articles according to what you read. The second is the first part usually contains the mega argument or the most important information for the reader. The third is make the beginning or opening of the articles as interesting as possible so that readers are interested in reading the entire article to the end. Critical reading is needed in critical writing, so that in critical reading activities for writing, it is necessary to pay attention to the technique, such as identifying the identity of references and selecting writing materials, citation writing techniques, and techniques for compiling a list of references in order to get perfection in a writing. Okay, how digital age in nowadays? Herbert Simon, Nobel laureate in economics, said that fundamental literacy at this time has shifted from the ability to remember to the ability to obtain information and use that information. Okay, I agree that the important literacy skills today are how to obtain, select, and use knowledge for productive and positive things. Learning from various national and international events that will always happen. How can we read wisely and think more critically in the era of digital literacy? I suggest there are 5 things to consider. The first is what is the content of news or information? The content of a news story can be in the form of exposure to facts, provocation, inspiration, and so on. There are many polemics plus provocation news both in conventional media or social media. If the reader is provoked, it can easily ignite the fire of anger and unwanted actions. Try to reading the news with helicopter news, view, and try to understand the news from various sides. The second is who is the author. It should also be noted whether there is a conflict of interest or bias in the article. If there is a photo of a person or character next to a news outlet, it does not necessarily mean that what is stated is a complete fake. And third is who is the target audience? To whom is the news or information actually addressed? The general public or limited readers or to certain communities. Understanding who is the intended reader of a news story is important because often reading news or information has a certain context. The next is what is the argument used? Is a statement a personal opinion, the result of an agreement? Where did the news come from? Are there any supporting data for statement or research that has been done on the internet? There are often aphorisms with pictures of famous people beside them. Does that mean what is written is accurate? Not necessarily. We need to understand what arguments are used in the information. And the last is, after reading, what things can be learned? The last thing needs to be considered. Actually, after reading a news or information, What are the things that we can repeat? Do we become clear in seeing a problem? Or are we confused, angry, or do we feel better, most mature, and smarter? Okay. The last is critical reading and writing in the digital age. Digital literacy offers convenience, speed, and availability of information on a larger scale. It is also considered to make more sense in terms of sophistication and commerciality. However, we often overestimate the accuracy of the available information by consuming unfiltered news. Let, be, Let us be wiser in reading, selecting, and using available information so that the information can be truly useful, not only for ourselves, but also for the community. Okay, thanks for listening to me, and I hope we are wiser in reading, selecting, and using available information so that the information can be really useful, not only for ourselves, but also for the community. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you for your attention and see you in my next video, maybe. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye, everyone. Have a nice day.